All right, back with another top 5 list. I'm Sam Monson. He's Mike Renner, and today we're going to talk cornerbacks, Mike. Usually we've been doing tandems. We've been duos at various different positions. But cornerback, we're going to go 3 deep. We're going to look at the 2 starters and the slot defender for this list. Number 5, we've got the New England Patriots. They've got Stephon Gilmore, they've got Jason McCourty, and J.C. Jackson, who emerged last year as a really useful player for them as well.
Yeah, we're going 3 deep because, well, this is the base defense in today's NFL, and the Patriots, as you know, have just this revolving door of cornerback talent in their secondary. Stephon Gilmore was the best cornerback in the NFL a season ago, but the Jason McCourty, what he did, reviving his career in New England can't be understated. He was one of the better cornerbacks, young cornerbacks in the NFL early on in his career with the Tennessee Titans, and they played a lot of man coverage back then. Went to the Browns, where he was a little bit out of his depth, playing a lot more zone. Goes back to a man-heavy scheme in New England, and has one of the best seasons of his career there. So I do think this is certainly a top 5 trio in the NFL.
Yeah, and the Patriots are better than anybody else on this list in terms of putting their players in the best situation to succeed. Mm-hmm. They match these guys up in favorable situations. They don't ask them to do things they're not capable of doing, so they're going to look a little bit better in New England than they might other places. Number 4, we've got Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye, and anybody else. Nominally, it's DJ Hayden. But
we wrote DJ Hayden, but me or you go in there. There's still a top 5 trio in the NFL.
Right, so the Jags have an impressive trio, but it's based off their 2 starters on the outside.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey gets all the hype, but A.J. Boye, been no slouch himself, actually performed grade-wise better for us a season ago with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Has the last 3 seasons been one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey does all the talking, gets all the hype, but A.J. Boye quietly has lived up to the big contract they gave him.
Yeah, and a relative down year for Jalen Ramsey last season. I would expect him to bounce back this year. We know that cornerback is this high variance position where you can have rough seasons. We know he's a quality player. He's got all the talent in the world. So this trio could be phenomenal in 2019. Moving to number 3, though, we've got the Denver Broncos, who they've had a lot of turnover in that secondary from the no-fly zone of a few years ago. But Chris Harris Jr. is still there. Now we've got Kareem Jackson coming over from the Houston Texans, and we've got Bryce Callahan in there as well. That's their trio now.
Yeah, this one's a far more balanced trio than that Jacksonville Jaguars one. Chris Harris, continually the most consistent slot cornerback in the NFL over the course of his career, but he's not just a slot cornerback. Right. He also excels well on the outside, and they kind of have this sort of Swiss Army knife secondary of Kareem Jackson, who did a lot of the same, move to the slot, played safety with the Texans last year, played outside cornerback as well, and graded out really well. And then Bryce Callahan, who played in the slot in Vic Fangio's defense in Chicago last season and had the 7th highest slot coverage grade of anyone in the NFL. So they kind of have a lot of slot weapons, a lot of movable pieces. I'm interested to see how it all shakes out in Denver this season.
Yeah, and whether they use those guys to be able to sort of track receivers into the slot, because that's the big problem area that a lot of teams have to cover elite receivers. Moving up to number 2, we've got the Baltimore Ravens. Marlon Humphrey, Tavon Young, and Jimmy Smith is their trio. That's an impressive-looking group of talent.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey really took a step forward in year 2. Had an impressive rookie year, but I think he's joining that sort of conversation for top 10 cornerback in the NFL. Allowed a catch rate of 52.5% against last year, 7th best in the NFL, and had the 3rd best forced incompletion rate. Jimmy Smith was kind of up there a few years ago in both of those figures before injuries sort of struck in recent years. If he's back fully healthy, that's as good a 1-2 punch as there gets in the NFL. And then Tavon Young in the slot, the highest paid slot cornerback, when he signed that contract, well worth it. He covers that slot very well.
Yeah, absolutely. But the number 1 trio in the NFL is Los Angeles. Again, they had our number 1 edge rushing duo as well with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa, but the Chargers have Casey Hayward, Trevor Williams, and Desmond King, 2 of the most underrated cornerbacks in all of football as well. I think this is a group that would surprise people being at the top of the list.
Yeah, I think Casey Hayward's very much in the conversation for the most underrated cornerback in the NFL. If you're debating the top cornerback in the NFL, his name rarely gets thrown around, but over the last 4 seasons has the highest coverage grade of any cornerback in the NFL. And then Desmond King, all he's done since he stepped on the football field for the Chargers back in 2017 has been the highest graded slot cornerback in the NFL. He excels there in the slot, and that is a starting role in the offense. He played almost 900 snaps last year as their slot.
Yeah, and Hayward's career has been underrated from the get-go. I mean, he was a player that his rookie season with the Packers had some of the most astonishing slot coverage numbers we've ever seen while grading at PFF, and it still took him a few years to even earn the opportunity to play outside.
Yes.
He was just labeled as a slot corner only. So Casey Hayward, for the entirety of his career, has been one of the most underrated players. Desmond King also fits into that role as a guy who just doesn't get the recognition he deserves. But those three together form the NFL's most impressive cornerback trio right now. Make sure you check out the rest of the videos that we mentioned earlier, and thanks for watching this one.